Brought to you by DIS, keeping companies connected with cloud-based solutions. Come on, City.
Mark, good to chat with you again. I'll start with team news, if I may, actually, and get an update on how the injury situation is. First of all, how are Charles Vernham and Ollie Crankshaw?
Yeah, both been training last couple of days. So yeah, obviously we said they were close to returning for Colchester, but obviously just missed out. So yeah, we're hopeful that they'll both be ready for Saturday.
Is it a similar situation with Billy Clark as well?
Yeah, similar. Yeah, same with Billy. Billy's been out with us trained today. So yeah, Billy's in contention as well for Friday. Sorry.
When we spoke to Connor ahead of the Colchester game, he told us that Lee Novak had been back out on the grass and in and amongst the group. How is he developing? Yeah,
just same news really. It's great to see him back out on the grass, doing his rehab. He's not with the group yet. He's still with the physios, but it's obviously his progression's probably further ahead than what we thought. So that's positive news.
I asked Connor a similar question last time, but are you in a position to be able to give a timescale on Lee's situation?
I'm not. We're hopeful that it will obviously return before the end of the season. That's our goal. And if he keeps progressing the way he is, then we'll get him back even earlier.
As for Bryce Hosanna, Connor said that his situation may be a little clearer this week. Is there any news on his injury?
I think Ryan mentioned it to you, Jamie. I think he went for an operation. It's gone well, but Bryce will now be returning to Leeds to do his rehab. So obviously we're disappointed we never got the chance to work with Bryce. But the best thing for Bryce in his future is that he gets himself 100% right. So we're sent him for a knock, like I say. It's all gone well, and he's just been carrying out his rehab with Leeds.
That is disappointing, isn't it, for you and Connor, given that you've had him around the building, had him around the group, but never really had the opportunity to work with him?
Yeah. We saw a lot of Bryce before we got in the role, so we were excited to work with Bryce. We know the attributes he's got and what he could have brought to the team. Something different to probably the personnel we've got who can play right back. So yeah, we're disappointed. Bryce is disappointed. I spoke to Bryce, but he's obviously, we want to thank Bryce for his efforts before he picked up his injury.
I know it was something that came up when we spoke with you all on Thursday, but is there an appetite? Is there a possibility that he could return to you potentially on loan next season, maybe?
Like I said before, we want to bring the best players possible to the club. If that's loans, if that's signings, in the summer window, then we will. And if Bryce is a player that is available, then it's always potential that he could return. He knows how the clubs works. He knows me and Connor now, but he's obviously not had the opportunity to work with us.
Other than the players mentioned already, how are the rest of the squad?
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They're training well. Obviously, we're pleased with the result at Colchester. So morale's high in the camp. So yeah. The squad's good, they're ready to go.
How much value have you been able to have a full week, or more or less a full week again, and to work with the players?
I think we've said it before, it's with this such a busy period, you never get a full week in football. People from the outside might think, we've got a full week's training, but rest and recovery is just as important as time on the field. We can only do so much with them with such a busy period. So the most important thing is we've been able to rest the players, and like I said, they're fresh now and hopefully ready to go on Friday.
Reflecting on Saturday's result, and we spoke afterwards of the importance of that win, but was it even more significant in terms of the importance of keeping your season alive, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think we want to finish as strong as we can. We've said that. I think for morale as well, and for confidence. I think even though that you only lose 2 games and you draw 2, it's not the same as winning games, and what winning does to your team in regards to confidence. So yeah, we're happy to pick up the 3 points at Colchester, which is a tough place. They've got some good results before. We played them. 2-2 draw at Tranmere, etc. So we knew it would be a tough game, and we were delighted. We got the 3 points, and like you say, it gives us confidence to going into this busy period again.
I always think that 10 is a pretty round number, and with 10 games remaining now, the equation is pretty simple. 6 points from the playoff places. Okay, not mathematically certain that you're safe, but I think we can all pretty much believe that you will be playing League 2 football next season. So I guess that in itself is a motivating factor for the squad. Yeah.
I think when we first took over in the role, probably when we went into interim coaches, managers, that our goal was always to move away from the relegation zone, and the good work the players have done and got themselves in a positive position. But we've just now got to, like I say, finish as strong as we can and hopefully take that momentum into next season.
Is it easy or difficult trying to get the motivation as high as you can? You mentioned about morale. Obviously, winning breeds confidence, winning breeds good feeling. But is it difficult to try and keep that going when the season is coming towards a close and where you are in the table?
I think, like you said, it's 10 games. There's still a lot of games. There's 10 games. We just want to. We still, with us coming in kind of halfway through the season, we're still quite fresh in our ideas and what we've tried to implement, and we're still looking to improve in everything we do, if that's in training and games. So I think the players are still motivated to like I said, to perform, to try and apply what we're after into games. So that's still fresh in the players' minds just as much as obviously finishing as high up in the tables as we can.
Your mantra's always been with us, one game at a time, but can you afford yourself that luxury of assessing those remaining 10 games, looking at the run-in and I suppose looking at the opportunity that comes with it?
I don't think you can. You can only look at the next game and focus on the next game, and we've got Forest Green and then we've got Stevenage. With I think a day's rest in between. So, and then we're travelling. So yeah, you can't look too far ahead, Jamie. It's all about the focus on the next game and like I say, how we can hurt them and stop them kind of implementing their strengths on us. So we've just got to focus on, like I say, a game at a time. I know it's cliche, but with the games coming so thick and fast, I think nobody can really sit down and really assess.
How do you rate Forest Green Rovers? Is there a good time? Is there ever a good time to play a side like that?
I don't think so. I think they've got a lot of quality. They're a team who like to keep possession of the ball. We know that there's not going to be times where we are without the ball for long spells. So we've got to be patient in that what we do, out of possession as well as in possession. But no, we've got to be at our best. We've got to be at our best to get any type of result against Forest Green. Because
they're a side that have pretty much been at the top of the League 2 table for the majority of the season, if you were to get a positive result out of that game, how much would that do for your belief for then what would be the remainder 9 games?
I think we've always had that belief since coming in. We're winners. We want to win every game. That's our mindset. We never go into a game thinking, we can get a draw here, etc., etc. We want to win games. So yeah, if we can get a win to back up the Colchester performance, then that will again put us in a better position going into Stevenage.
How's young Keane been this week after his goal?
Yeah, he's been good. Obviously, he's a grounded kid anyway. It's nothing that we had to kind of bring him back down to earth from scoring his goal. He works hard every day in training, and that's been rewarded with his start the other day. And then he's gone and scored a great goal. And I said it after the game, but the stuff he did out of possession. And how reliable he was in possession is we know the qualities Keane's got, and now it's his job to be consistent in his performance. That's always the challenge for young footballers.
I think I'm right in saying that he got voted goal of the month by the City fans, and he's come in for plenty of plaudits as well. I mean, for you and Connor, with a player like Keane, who you've worked with ahead of this season, of course, in your previous roles, do you take a great deal of pride in seeing someone like that go on and perform at senior level? Yeah,
we do, but we obviously know that the qualities that Keane's got, so it's not a shock to us. Might be to the fans, etc., who've not seen a lot of Keane, but we've got confidence in these group of players. The kind of 5 young pros who've really stepped up this season and been more of a impact on the squad than probably anybody would have thought. I think the COVID has helped them players, because ideally you'd like to get these players out on loan and be getting more game time. There's probably 1 or 2 who are still kind of not benefiting from COVID in that way, but the likes of Reece, Keane, Finn have obviously got more and more game time and being able to experience League 2 football.
With restrictions easing and with the numbers coming down, is there still a possibility that someone like maybe George or Connor could go out on loan to a non-league side for the remainder of this season?
I think it is difficult. It's difficult for them. They've had to kind of change their mindset and just try and work as hard as they can to be as close to this squad as they can. And if an opportunity comes up, they've got to take it like Finn and Reece and Keane have. So they are good professionals. We talk about culture. They're a part of it. They know that they've got to work hard every day and just be ready for their opportunity if it comes along.
We've seen this season Reece tied down to a long-term deal, the same for Finn. With Keane's recent performances, could we expect to see him on a longer-term contract?
I think Keane is a player who's obviously fighting for a contract. He knows that. But if he keeps putting in performances the way he is, then he's not going to do himself any harm, really.
Final one from me, Mark, and forgive me on this front. I think iFollow maybe didn't give it the same impact as it probably could have done with the T-shirts that the players wore ahead of the Colchester game. And it's my understanding that they will be worn during the warm-up on Friday, the stance against racism. I mean, how important is that for you as a manager of a side to make that message, to make that stance?
Yeah, I think it's important for us all at the club to make an impact to in the way we can. If that's doing something different to make a stand, then we will. Sometimes some clubs aren't doing it, some are not. So we had to kind of make sure that we're all fighting for the same things, and it's important that us as a club do something different. I think we always want to do that, but our goal is to raise that awareness, and I think we did that. And like I say, hopefully we can keep on doing things at the club that are a little bit different. But again, what it does is it raises more awareness.
Go well tomorrow, Mark. Cheers.
Thank you.
Hi, Mark. You mentioned the young players there. How much easier is it for you and Connor, having worked with those players before, to bring them into the first team setup and not have maybe so many worries about how they'll perform?
It just goes down to trust, and trust is built from what they do every day, and then they've got to go and apply it on the biggest stage, and that's on the Saturday or Tuesday. So we knew the confidence and the qualities they would bring to the team. That they bring that youthfulness, which is no fear really, to when they play, but they also bring that energy as well. So we're delighted in the way that they've impacted on the squad.
With obviously Forest Green tomorrow and then Stevenage on Monday, you said there's a day's rest and then you're travelling. How do you actually plan for that second game in situations like this?
Our key focus is on Forest Green, but it's then straight to work for us as staff, as a coaching team, to make sure we prepare these players in the best way we can on the one day we've got. before we travel. So yeah, we'll just be straight back to work after the Forest Green game.
And it's two different games, obviously, but in where the teams are in the table as well. So does that have to affect your mindset? Do you have to maybe remind players that Stevenage, just because of where they are, won't be any easier?
I think these are two tough games. The Forest Green are where they are because they're a very good team. They've been up at the top of the table for most of the season, as Jamie mentioned. But Stevenage are on a very good run, and they're getting better and better each performance. So we know that we've got to be at our best in every game we play now. And we just got to keep building our performances and find ways to win at this time of the season. We'd like to have a complete performance and dominate the ball, etc., etc. But we just want to find ways to win and hopefully, like I say, finish as strong as we can at the end of the season.
Okay, thanks very much and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Hi Mark.
Hiya.
You're saying obviously about Forest Green. I mean, they've been up there all season, but you must take great confidence from the team's fantastic record against teams in the top six since you've come in. I mean, I think you're unbeaten against the top six at the moment.
Yeah. We don't fear really anybody in the league. When we're at our best, I think we can beat anybody. But it's up to us to try and reach them performance levels. That's key, and and that's the hardest thing in football, to maintain and be consistent. So yeah, we're confident going into the game, but we're also got to be aware of this is going to be a tough game, and like I mentioned, we've got to be at our best to get any type of result.
And they're a team that, looking at the stats, score quite a lot of goals from set pieces as well.
Yeah, it's something that obviously we conceded from a set play the other day, so it's something we've looked and assessed. That it's important that we improve in both boxes, defending set plays and attacking set plays. So it's something that we consistently work on, and we've got to be aware of that threat that they bring.
Yeah, because obviously, recently at Carlisle let in a couple. I mean, and it's an area where this team, it's been very strong defensively, hasn't it? So presumably that's an area you're looking at to think, we can do better in that.
Yeah. I know you brought the Carlisle one up. I think people said it's an excuse, but the wind did play a factor in that one. But there was moments, as I mentioned, where players did lose the man, etc. So we've got to improve on that, and we do identify them little key moments that have led to the goals. So yeah, like I say, we're always looking to improve, and them small percentages hopefully will add up, and we can obviously prevent us conceding from set plays.
Do you think it's possibly a good time to play them, bearing in mind obviously they've just lost their centre forward for the rest of the season, and they're on a run where they haven't scored for a few games?
It will be a miss, but then they've got different types of strikers that can play up there. So I think that the strikers that they could potentially bring in will more run our back line, look to go the other way. So yeah, they've got a lot of quality in that squad. So we know that whoever they play up top, or if they play a 1 or a 2, that we're prepared for that.
And I know we've sort of said during the season that home advantage has been sort of minimalised a little bit because of lack of crowds generally around the country. But you are still unbeaten at Valley Pride. I mean, that must be a source of pride. I think there's only 3 goals you've conceded. Yeah.
Obviously, we want to perform as well as we can, home and away. But travel is still big, especially with the amount of games we're playing. So I think that plays a factor. But we've just got to make sure that we're at our best, and try and keep that kind of unbeaten run going at home.
Yeah, and as you say, finishing strongly. I mean, have you got a number in your head of points you'd sort of like to? Is there something you're sort of looking at and thinking, I want to get past that mark, or what have you?
We have as a team, we've set that in house, but we'll keep that in house. But we just gotta keep finishing as strong as we can and try to win as many games as we can till now to the end of the season.
Because I know we've sort of said the 50-point mark was, is seen very much as sort of like the safety level. I mean, that is satisfying to reach that, certainly with 10 games left, isn't it?
Yeah, I think us as staff and the team are obviously happy that we've reached that 50 points, because it was our kind of short-term goal in a way, that we wanted to be away from the relegation zone. So we're happy we've done that from where we've kind of came from third bottom to now kind of mid-table. But we're not just happy with that. We want to kind of keep moving up the table and keep picking up points, and like I said, just use that momentum going into next season.
Cheers, Mark. Best of luck tomorrow then.
Thank you.
I was just asking about the importance for all clubs of being able to bring through young players, as you have this season.
Yeah, I think it's more and more important that with the kind of COVID situation, that it's important that you bring through your own players and try and embed them in the team as quick as possible. Hopefully to strengthen your team. But then obviously some teams will have different kind of strategies of what they want to do with their younger players. If that's to sell on to help bring in funding to strengthen the first team, then that's how teams work. So yeah, I think the academy here at Bradford is getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and I think with the last kind of recruitment in regards to bringing 5 players through, it shows that we've got quality in the building, and I think the key is then giving these players opportunity, and we've Stuart give these players opportunity. We're giving now them the opportunity to have a run in the team. So it's up to them players then to go and take it. But yeah, I think it's massively important now for especially for all teams really, from top down, that they keep progressing and their youth, and try and get them into the first team as quick as possible.
Because I mean, you mentioned the financial side, but even the richest clubs in the world invest heavily in academies for a reason. I mean, there's big footballing benefits as well, isn't there, for having people who understand the culture and the club?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, myself and Connor have worked in the academy for a long time, so we know that there's good coaches here, and we know that that we've got to try and prepare these players for first team football as quick as possible. But then it's up to the players then to go and show that they're good enough to play at this level, or if not above. So yeah, I think we just gotta keep trying to progress these players as quick as possible, and if they are ready, then be brave enough to give them the opportunity, if that's at League Two or if it's at other clubs in the Premier League, etc.
And when you see Keane have a moment like he did last weekend, what's the emotions in you? Is it a bit like a proud father when you brought him through the system?
Not really. It's about winning the game, so we're more excited that we got 1-0 up, and then kind of maintaining that win really. So yeah, we're not really a proud father one. It's more kind of make sure that Keane's consistent for the rest of the game and it doesn't affect his performance. That's key, and then making sure that is backs up his next performance. And
just on back to Bryce, I mean, you've obviously had to work closely with Leeds over his rehab. How important is it for League Two clubs that you have these strong relationships, not just with Leeds but with the other Championship and Premier League clubs in the region when it comes to loaning players? Yeah, it's important, at all levels, probably top down. It benefits us in League Two because it strengthens our squads, but it also gives, like you mentioned, these academy players that they've brought through opportunity to play in the Football League, which is totally different to 23s football, 18s football. It's a totally different game. So it's important that we have these relationships and we build these relationships to help strengthen our squad, and we'll continue to try and build more and more relationships with the contacts we've got, and the contacts that we are building through the work we're doing. Yes, from obviously Ryan and Lee and myself and Connor and our contacts within the football world.
Brought to you by DIS, keeping companies connected with cloud-based solutions. Come on, City!